All right, so we're going to continue with the Editing 101 tutorials, moving on to probably an advanced assignment that you will have. We're going to be actually editing a reporter package. Reporter packages are a combination of what you've learned so far as editing and shooting video and interviews and all that stuff. It's putting it all together. So I've left everything set up from our last tutorial. What we're going to do is we're going to get rid of that. So I'm going to highlight everything here, and we're going to delete, and we're going to move everything back to the beginning, and I'm going to turn everything back on because I want to make sure that I get everything. We'll go back to Media Browser. We'll go back to Teach. And where am I at? Tetro Editing. We're going to go to AP Story, Pictures and Stories, okay? So here's what we're going to do, all right? I'm going to play a video, or actually an audio, all right? And hopefully we'll be able to hear it, and you will have an idea of what you're doing. So let's try that.
Garth Brooks wins Entertainer of the Year at the Country Music Association Awards. I'm Margie Zaraletta with the latest. The CMA started with a female all-star medley of country hits and set up the evening for girl power, but Garth Brooks took the Entertainer of the Year award for the 7th time. Luke Combs won the Male Vocalist Award, Casey Musgraves the Female Vocalist Award, and Ashley McBride Best New Artist. McBride recalled once playing a tribute show for John Prine, who complimented her work.
The next day he shook my hand, and he said, "You're real good. You're no Reba, but you're real good."
All right, so that's basically what you're doing, is you're taking the elements, putting them together in your own words, and adding pictures to them, okay? So here's what we're going to do. We're going to recreate what you just heard, but now we're going to add pictures, okay? So we can recreate it in any way you want, all right? We're going to recreate it with some interviews. Oh, here we go. I had a student, I wrote a script, and a student used it, and this is what we're going to do.
It was a big night for
Okay, so here's what I'm going to do is I like to start out with music, all right? So I go to this Music Nats, and I'll start with that. All right, there's my in and my out, all right? Now, I like to put music on audio number 4. So I take my A1 and I bring it all the way down here to number 4, okay? And then I hit period. All right? All right, so now I'm going to take my reporter track, which you guys will record into some kind of your own voice, into some kind of a recording device. Let me see if I'm still recording here. Hang on. Yes, I am. Okay. So you're going to take your own voice.
It was
Go back frame by frame, do an in there.
It was a big night for female artists at the annual country music. No, I can't do it. Okay, 3, 2.
In point there.
It was a big night for female artists at the annual Country Music Awards as the show kicked off with 3 female hosts. Singer Maren Morris topped the list of nominees and won Album of the Year for Girl. She said she owes it all to her producer and spoke directly to his family, who was still mourning from his death.
We'll do out, all right? So reporter track always goes on A3. Again, that's a standardization. So put your reporter track, your voice, on A3. You hit period, okay? All right. Now we have an interview, right? And our interview is Maureen Morris, I believe. Yes.
I hope when they listen to this record or any of the songs that he made that made us all better, they know how amazing their father was.
I don't know if that's the right one or not. Let's see. Must be, because it's the only one. So now, when you have an interview, that always goes on A1. Okay. All right. Then we go back to our reporter, your voice.
Country duo Dan and Shay won Duo of the Year, while megastar Garth Brooks brought home the Entertainer of the Year honors.
Out. We want to put that on A4, move A1 down to A4, and we hit period. Okay. So now we're going to do an interview. We know that A1 is going to go up here because Garth Brooks. Let's see what Garth Brooks says.
Country music means everything to me, and
what else?
I always try to call it like I see it. If they gave this award for this show tonight, I'd have to give it to...
Yeah, don't like that. So this is it. In.
Country music means everything to me, and this means everything to me and my family. Thank you guys so much. This is a moment that I will never forget.
Out, period. Okay. We go back to our reporter, who's going to say something, I hope, to wrap us up.
In Nashville, Michelle Gonzalez reporting.
Oops. See, oopsie, I put it on A1. I don't want it on A1. The reporter always goes on A4. Or I'm sorry, A3.
Dan and Shay won.
Okay. So here's what we've done. You've assembled your package. Okay. This is called ARoll. Your ARoll is your audio. You've assembled it. I have made a mistake. If you haven't paid attention, I will fix that mistake, and I'll show you how to fix it, okay? Music goes on 4.
For female artists.
Reporter's voice goes on 3.
I hope when they listen to this record or
Interviews goes on A1.
Country duo Dan.
Reporter goes on 3. Oh, wait, I made a mistake. I put that on A4. Okay. Does it really make a difference? Well, probably for what we're doing, probably not. But in the real world, it absolutely does make a difference. Because I will tell you this. Let's use the real world example of Law and Order. That show has been on the air for 20 some odd years in various different forms. And why does it work? Because it's a formula. They follow the same formula. That's also in their editing process. When they follow their same formula, anybody can work on the show. You don't think that the same editor has been working on SVU for 20 years, do you? There have been new people come in and out, in and out, and in and out throughout those 20 years. But what has not changed, but what has been stayed consistent is the simple fact that they edit the show the exact same way every single time. And that's why it's important to make sure that everything is lined up here. The reporter track is on A3, okay? If you remember in Law and Order, the bing bing, ding ding, that is always on a certain audio track. Why? Because these audio and video timelines you're going to see can get extremely complicated. So if you come up with a formula and you know what it's like, and everybody does the exact same thing, no matter who edits the show or edits the package or edits the story, they know that that ding ding is always going to be on A4. Okay? Likewise, if you're editing a story and you get sick and you have to have your partner help you finish the story, they know, because they're taught this way too at UNF, all your audio for your reporting is on A3. They don't have to go find it. They know where it is. So how do I get it on A3? I can redo it, re-edit it in there, or I can click on it and move it up like that. When you do this, and you do this editing, you run into the chance of changing it around, because there's no starting and stopping point. You can move this audio anywhere, okay? So when you start clicking and dragging and moving things around, there's no precision to it. Using I and O is the precision editing, okay? You can tell by simply changing this from here to here, you can mess things up really easily. You can be off a frame or two, and you'll create what's called, again, a flash frame.
Father was.
Country duo.
Or in the case of audio, nothingness, which is dead air, and that's the bad thing.
Father was.
Country duo.
Okay? And then on the back end, because it's not layered
Entertainer
up,
of the Year
Country
honors.
music.
you have an overlap.
The Entertainer of the Year
Country
honors.
music.
She's still talking when he comes up and talks. That's not a good thing, okay? So you want to line this up as best as you can. The object is to do it right the first time, all right? So moving beyond that, now that we have everything right, we have music on 4, reporter track on 3, interviews on 1, reporter track on 3, interviews on 1, reporter track on 3. We're going to listen to it, just like we did the last one.
It was a big night for female artists at the annual Country Music Awards as the show kicked off with 3 female hosts. Singer Maren Morris topped the list of nominees and won Album of the Year for Girl. She said she owes it all to her producer and spoke directly to his family, who was still mourning from his death.
I hope when they listen to this record or any of the songs that he made that made us all better, they know how amazing their father was.
Country duo Dan and Shay won Duo of the Year, while megastar Garth Brooks brought home the Entertainer of the Year honors.
Country music means everything to me, and this means everything to me and my family. Thank you guys so much. This is a moment that I will never forget.
In Nashville, Michelle Gonzalez reporting.
Okay? So listen, here's the deal. That's a reporter package for radio. Why? Because there's no pictures. There's no video portion to this. So let's make it a reporter package for video, for TV, okay? Which is one of your assignments, okay? Now, you've laid your ARoll down, okay? If you look at your ARoll, because of the different layering, now you have a bunch of video holes. Okay, again, remember, I said you don't want to mess up your your audio, but when you go back and put in your what's called B-roll or your video, so I highly recommend you turn every single piece of audio off, because if you leave one on, let's just say we're going to leave this one on, and we're going to take a picture, and we put it there, okay? Chances are it might cover up the audio that you've already put there, okay? In this case, because it's pictures, there's no audio, okay? So, but if it was video, there's video and audio recorded together. So, we're gonna do that, okay? Turn everything off. Now you're only layering, or you're only dealing with the video portion, okay? Or the B-roll portion. So, let's see. What kind of pictures do we want to make? Okay. Let's go with these guys. Now, again, I highly recommend this too. Instead of your in and out up here, you're going to want your in and out down on your timeline.
It was a big night for female.
All right. Oh, that's a female artist. I don't want to use these two guys, right? So I need to go find a female artist. Now, obviously we don't have the pictures of the band, but the point is you're trying to match the video, the pictures to the audio, okay? So you do an in, and we've got 4 points. 1, 2, 3, 4. We want to clear the out, and we will hit period. All right. Okay, different size. Now we need to size this. All right. I'll scale it. Pretty close, maybe a little bit different, that's fine.
It was a big night for female artists at the annual Country Music Awards as the show kicked off with 3 female hosts.
All right, if I had the three female hosts, I would put them there. I don't. I want to match my audio, my video to my audio and I want it to change at a point. Remember I told you every 3 to 5 seconds? This is one of those situations that you want to make it a little different.
Female artists at the annual Country Music Awards as the show.
Annual Country Music Awards. Okay, we'll just trim that out.
Artists at the annual Country Music Awards as
we'll do an in
the
there.
show kicked off with 3 female hosts. Singer Maren Morris topped the list of nominees and won Album of the Year for Girl.
We'll go there. We have her here. Up, another out point. We'll clear my out point. Put that there. We'll resize her here. Scale. Okay. We'll go to snap to.
She said she owes it all to her producer and spoke directly to his family who was still mourning from his death.
Now here's the situation. We only have 3 pictures of her. Okay. So we can create various pictures by adjusting the size. When we only have 3 pictures, let's zoom in, move her up like that. That's the same picture, right? And we zoomed in here.
An Album of the Year for Girl. She said she owes it all to her producer and spoke directly to his family who was still mourning from his death.
We want her a different picture here covering this entire thing. Snap to. Turn that off. Now, the picture isn't long enough. Here's the deal, guys. Pictures are as long as you want them to be because they stretch out. They're infinite. You want to change the size. Okay.
Country duo Dan and Shay won Duo of the Year, while megastar
Oops. Dan and Shay. Again, we have an out, so we clear the out. There that. Size, effects, controls, scale. There's that. in point for
Brooks
Garth
brought
Brooks.
home the Entertainer of the Year honors.
Clear my out there. We're going to go through and we're going to effects, controls, scale, get Garth there. We're going to go here. We're going to jump to the next one. We're going to do an in.
That's a moment that I will never forget.
And an out. We're going to go to this shot here. Clear out. Put that there. We're going to resize, effects, control, scale. We're going to go in on this one. I'm going to go down like that.
In Nashville, Michelle Gonzalez reporting.
Okay. If I had more pictures, I would put more pictures. Let's just go back to this one. There. We'll size, effects, control, scale. There. All right. So this is our rough draft. Here we go.
It was a big night for female artists at the annual Country Music Awards as the show kicked off with 3 female hosts. Singer Maren Morris topped the list of nominees and won Album of the Year for Girl. She said she owes it all to her producer and spoke directly to his family, who is still mourning from his death.
I hope when they listen to this record or any of the songs that he made that made us all better, they know how amazing their father was.
Country duo Dan and Shay won Duo of the Year, while megastar Garth Brooks brought home the Entertainer of the Year honors.
Country music means everything to me, and this means everything to me and my family. Thank you guys so much. This is a moment that I will never forget.
In Nashville, Michelle Gonzalez reporting.
Okay, so now that is a TV story, a video story. You just edited a reporter package, all right? I'm going to show you how to fancy it up a little bit, just with a couple of really small things to do. But that's the basic principle of it, okay? Layering and picking your video to match, picking your pictures to match the words. If I had more pictures of female artists, I would put them in there, okay? Or if I had more pictures of Garth Brooks, I would put them in there. Or Reba McEntire, who was the host, I'd put him in there. But I'm working with what I have, okay? Here's a tip. When you're working with what you have, write your story to what you have, not to what you don't have, okay? You see what I mean? If you have pictures of 3 female hosts, use the words who had 3 female hosts. You know, the video, the Country Music Awards had 3 female hosts. If you don't, then just either skip it or reword it so you can say Maureen Morris was one of the hosts. Okay, does that make sense? So write to what you have, not to what you don't have. So let's go fancy this up. This is where what you're going to do is you're going to want to go to effects up here. All right, this is the last thing, guys, last thing. You're going to go to video transitions. You're going to go to some of these. You can play around with them, doesn't really matter. But what you can do, when you're messing with the effects, we're going to start with the dissolve first. We're going to use a cross dissolve. Click on the effect that you want, drag it over to the timeline, put it right on the cut line, okay? And what that cross dissolve does
Country Music Awards as the show kicked off with 3
is that it cross dissolves between the 2 pictures. Now, if you click right here on the effect and you go to effect controls, it spreads it out. You can spread it out here and make it longer. You can move it around, okay? Again, anything you do, you can Control Z, okay? So, what we do is I'm going to go through and I'm just going to put some, let's do a page turn for the next one. Let's do a whip for the next one. Let's do a barn door for this one. I will tell you that you can over affect it using too many effects, which will totally mess up the presentation of your video. So keep it to a minimum, okay? I'm just doing this to show you what some of these things can do, so you can get in here and play around. I personally don't like effects except for the cross dissolve. That's just my personal opinion. I think it's better. I think it's more professional. The other effects, you can start to get into what's called a gimmicky look, and which will really detract away from the presentation of your story. So I really would. It's nice that you can play around with it, but I really wouldn't. I wouldn't use them for your projects, because it really can destroy the visual presentation of your show. So let's look at this and then we'll wrap it up.
It was a big night for female artists at the annual Country Music Awards as the show kicked off with 3 female hosts. Singer Maren
Here comes
Morris
your first
topped the list of
effect.
nominees and won Album of the Year for Girl. She said she owes it all to her producer and spoke directly to his family, who was still mourning from his death.
I hope when they listen to this record or any of the songs that he made that made us all better, they know how amazing their father was.
Country duo Dan and Shay won Duo of the Year, while megastar Garth Brooks brought home the Entertainer of the Year honors.
Country music means everything to me, and this means everything to me and my family. Thank you guys so much. This is a moment that I will never forget.
In Nashville, Michelle Gonzalez reporting.
All right. So a couple of things. First of all, one of the things you saw is some effects that didn't look good. And the reason for that is, and this is the other reason I like cross dissolves, they have to be rendered. Rendering, actually, what you're doing is when you put an effect in, you are physically changing. Remember those 29 frames that we were talking about? You're changing each frame that effect is affecting, okay? Whatever is touching that effect, you're changing the frames. Same thing with color correction. If you're color correcting a 10-second piece of video, that video, in order to actually be the correct color, let's say you're changing it to the correct color, you actually have to change, the computer actually has to change it frame by frame by frame by frame, which takes time. That process, that's the process of called rendering, okay? So, anything on your timeline right here that says, that's red right here, those are unrendered effects. How do you render them, okay? I can squeeze through them and show you what it's supposed to look like, but to actually play it, you have to render it. So go up here and you go to Sequence, Render Effects. Okay. Now this can take anywhere from, depending on how complicated it is, it can take anywhere from seconds to hours, depending on how long your project is and how complicated it is. Again, the whole point of changing effects, affecting your video in any way, video, audio, if you're changing like her dress, I could change her dress to be blue if you wanted to, okay? If you can do that, or I can change her to be black and white. Well, anytime I'm doing that, I am changing the actual video, the actual source video from color, let's say, to black and white, frame by frame. So how many seconds? Let's say it's a 10-second clip, okay? 10-second clip, a 10-second clip times 29 is 290 frames, right? Is that right? Yeah. I don't know. Yeah, 290 frames. Okay, 290 times the computer has to change her dress from white to blue. And it can take a while. And what happens is, guess what, guys? If you are off, you make a mistake and you want to change it again, you have to wait for it to do it again. That's the reason I like cross dissolves, is you don't have to wait for that. They don't require rendering, okay? Let's watch it one last time and then we'll wrap up this session.
It was a big night for female artists at the annual Country Music Awards as the show kicked off with 3
Cross
female
dissolve.
hosts. Singer Maren Morris topped the list of nominees and won Album of the Year for Girl.
Page
she
wipe.
owes it all to her producer and spoke directly to his family, who was still mourning from his death.
I hope when they
Some
listen
kind
to
of a
this
weird
record,
thing.
any of the
I don't even know what
songs
that one
he
is.
that made us all better. They know how amazing their father was.
There's some
Country
barn
duo
doors.
Jen and Shay won Duo of the Year, while megastar Garth Brooks brought
Zoom.
home the Entertainer of the Year honors.
Country music
Flip.
means everything to me, and this means everything to me and my family. Thank you guys so much. This is a moment that I will never forget.
And
In
a cross
Nashville,
dissolve
Michelle
dance.
Gonzalez reporting.
All right, so now you have a video package, a reporter video package completed. This is basically your last assignment in Tetros class, but only the beginning, because all of your assignments now, from now on, the rest of them will be video related and similar to this. So hopefully you've learned something. Take it for you what you will, and move forward and learn and continue learning throughout the program. Hopefully this video session series has been helpful to you. And as always, you can refer back to it or come ask me in my office for the how-tos on the process. Thank you for joining us.